Hey everybody and welcome. You know, it's really cool to see that the marketing campaign for Welcome to Raccoon City is in full swing now and, oh. Well, that's not good. Okay, like-dislike ratios aside, a couple of character vignettes have been released on the Redfield siblings. And with these being my two favorite characters in the video game series, I kinda wanted to take a look at these. And similar to my The Director Speaks Out video, as well as my trailer reactions, I figured I'd do a reaction and kinda give my 2 cents on the matter. Gonna start with Chris, because he is my favorite character.
Chris Redfield is a small-town hero.
Okay, gonna stop it right there. Because I've already watched this part of it before. You saw already, I watched like the first few seconds before I was like, okay, I might want to actually do a video on this. So, the small town hero thing, it intrigues me. There's nothing wrong with it. It makes me wonder, it has my mind going wild with all the possibilities for, like, how would he have the small town hero reputation? What did he do to gain that? And the director specifically says that he had that reputation before joining Stars. But yeah, I'm just curious, feel free to say in the comments what you guys think that could mean.
And now he's part of the Raccoon City police force.
Whoop, wanted to go back. Yeah, this is where I paused the first time, where I was like, okay, yeah, I want to do a video on this. So this is obviously in the Raccoon Police Department. I'm unsure if it's the actual Stars office, just because while it has the Stars team in it, and this would seem to be at their desks, you can clearly see Leon's party streamers hanging up. So in this universe, was Leon hired on to be part of Stars? That's interesting if that's the direction they're going. Like, he wasn't just going to be a rookie cop, he was going to be Stars? I don't know, and that is all assuming Stars would have their own separate office, like in the games. But again, we have heard several times the director saying that they recreated the RPD and the Spencer Mansion as accurately as they could, so I don't know. But just in this scene, there's a lot to kind of take in. Because to my eyes, this is not the Stars office from either version of Resident Evil 2. And I guess it really couldn't be because, first of all, there's no Barry, so they would have had to place somebody else at Barry's desk, which, actually, come to think of it, in the games, Alpha and Bravo did share desks because they were on, like, alternating shifts. So in the games, somebody did actually share Barry's desk as well. But, I mean, you see what I'm saying. I'm thinking that's Brad sitting over there by Chris, and I think it's Richard closer to the camera, or I could have them switched around. And you have Jill looking really bored or annoyed over there on the left, and Wesker just kind of hanging out. It's interesting to note that Wesker doesn't have seemingly anyway, doesn't seem to have his own separate office. But yeah, it's kind of neat just seeing them all hanging out, though. Definitely never got to see that in the games.
Umbrella Corporation has a virus, and the virus infects Raccoon City.
If we don't contain this, it could threaten the whole world.
Chris has to become more than just the small-town hero. He has to become this action hero.
So he has to become an action hero. I don't know. Maybe they are going to end up taking this in the direction of Resident Evil 5, in the future if the series continues. But, for Robbie Amel's sake, I almost hope that this franchise works out just for him. Because it feels like he's been trying to find a key role for himself in a franchise for a while. On Flash, it didn't work out for him. On the X-Files, it definitely didn't work out for him. Him and his cousin Steven tried to do the superhero movie thing, and they were gonna get their own TV series based on it, but then they made a deal with Quibi for that, and obviously Quibi went under before that could get made. But yeah, he suits a Resident Evil 1 Chris, at least Resident Evil Remake Chris. He's got a similar build. This was before Chris was an absolute monster. His voice obviously is no Roger Craig Smith, but really nobody's is. But yeah, hopefully he gets to own this role.
What's really cool about our movie is that it is very much an adaptation of the games.
We gotta get out of here.
It's like I'm living.
Man, they're really, really stressing that point. This is like the games. It's gonna be like the games. We promise, guys, it's gonna be like the games. There's no Mila Jovovich in sight. It's gonna be the games.
In the video game, and it's really, really exciting.
Get behind me!
Okay, you know what? I'm pretty happy with what I saw. You know, I love the idea of Chris being a small town hero, because let's face it, he is the Boy Scout. You know, he's the goody two-shoes. He's the do the right thing guy. Like, of any of the Resident Evil characters, he's the one who would have been a small town hero before shit hit the fan. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with him. And I kind of feel like they said all the right things in this trailer. For Claire, on the other hand, I mean, okay, I'll be up front. I watched the entirety of the Claire one. I had no plans to make any kind of video at that point, but let's switch over to that one. Whew, yeah, that like to dislike ratio is rough.
This whole town's been poisoned.
In our story, Claire Redfield is a runaway from Raccoon City. She's run away because she feels something was very wrong there. Now,
okay, I've paused here multiple times just to try to see if her design is visible on the back of the jacket like in the games. I can't really tell anything. I can't see if it's there. And I mean, obviously this is based on the Resident Evil 2 remake outfit for Claire. And even in the game, you could barely see that design on the back of the jacket. They made it so subdued. But yeah, I mean, it's not important in the grand scheme of things, but it would be nice if it's there in live action. The hood definitely wasn't in the game, but they probably did that just so they could have rainy scenes and have it make sense. I don't know.
she's coming back to tell her brother some very important information.
Why are you back here, Claire?
Watch this.
You gotta help us, Claire. Umbrella, we had a little incident. People are getting sick.
We have to contain this. Claire is a rounded character. She
Oh yeah, somebody's gonna want me to pause there. Hold
has her.
on. Yeah, so we saw this already in the recent shorter trailer or ad rather, where the director spoke. But yeah, here on the left you can see Lisa Trevor just hanging out with Leon and Claire. And you can kind of see her actual face poking out from beneath the mask. She's looking kind of doe-eyed there. I don't know how I feel about the idea of Lisa Trevor potentially being some kind of sidekick character. And I mean, okay, so we don't actually know what's going on here. We won't have the context for this until the movie comes out. But my thoughts on it are, because I've been thinking about it for a little bit, you know, Lisa Trevor's backstory from the Resident Evil remake, it lends itself pretty well to the creation of a monster character who you can be sympathetic toward, because she was just an innocent little girl who had horrible things done to her until she just turned into this absolute freak of nature, and none of it was her fault. And even in Resident Evil remake, okay, when she first showed up in the guest house, she didn't immediately kill Chris or Jill. She knocked them unconscious. She had the drop on them. She could have killed either one of them. She didn't. But obviously she tried to attack later on, and you know, we know how that goes in the game. All I'm saying is her backstory is already set up in the games to where you could stop at a certain point and continue it forward as a sympathetic monster as opposed to a boss monster. Hopefully I'm being clear here. I can't really tell. But I don't know if I want them to go that direction. I hate to keep repeating myself, but I guess it depends on the execution. But I much prefer the idea of a monstrous Lisa Trevor with the nemesis parasite tentacles popping out of her back, and her being really aggressive and trying to search for her mother's corpse and all that, and attacking anybody who gets in her way. I don't know. This is something, and again, we're just speculating, but this still image here paints kind of a clear picture in a way. But the idea of Lisa Trevor being a kind of docile, sympathetic character was not something I expected. But like I said, I can't outright say for myself that I think it's bad, but it's entirely possible I'll walk away from the movie after seeing it and going, yeah, they shouldn't have done that. It could go either way for me. I don't know. Once again, let me know what you guys think in the comments, because this is interesting, to say the least. And I can imagine people having wild opinions about this topic in particular. But let's continue.
Claire is a rounded character. She has her own journey. She isn't just there to shoot guns.
I mean, yeah, that should go without saying if you know the source material, but okay.
I love how rebellious she is. Come on. She's an absolute badass.
Yeah, absolute badass. I do have a problem with that, because I would not describe original RE2 Claire as an absolute badass. I've talked about this before, and remember, she's my second favorite Resident Evil character. She was an average college student who rose to the occasion during Raccoon City, and was trying her damnedest to find her brother, to help people, to save Sherry. That was the original RE2, and that is her best characterization, in my opinion. Resident Evil 2 Remake came along and muddied things. I don't remember if I've said this already or not, but while I think the gameplay of Resident Evil 2 Remake is absolute top-notch, I kinda hate what they did with the storyline. And I was excited beforehand. You know, I was ready for a RE1 remake style remix of things, have new ideas introduced and all that, but I feel like they went about it all the wrong ways in Remake 2, and the characters suffered especially. Brian Irons was outwardly evil from the very get-go, just completely unhinged. All the subtlety was gone. Leon was cracking more jokes he wasn't, and it felt like they made him even more of a puppy dog toward Ada. It's not the Leon that I like. Obviously, your mileage varies on that, but RE2 Remake Claire was the worst offender, the more that I think about it, because she was just so cocky and aggressive pretty much from the beginning, and by the time you get to Birkin, like, she's hopping over the railing, you know, after Annette gets slammed into the wall, she's hopping over the railing to face extremely mutated Birkin, and she's just like, yeah, I got this, you know, and it's like, man, why does every character have to be quote-unquote badass now? Why can't we have nuanced characters? Why can't we have characters who start out a little more meek in the beginning and gradually become stronger, tougher, more versatile in their skills, more sure of themselves? Why does everybody just have to be a badass from the get-go? It's annoying to me. And hearing Claire described as a badass here by the actress playing her, and who knows better than anybody what's written on the script that she is then interpreting for the screen. Like, it's like, yeah, she's a gun-toting badass. It's like, oh, man, does she have to be? You know? Does she need to be? I don't know. I guess I'm still just wary of the idea that we could have another Alice on our hands to some lesser degree. I'm not saying she's going to be anywhere near as bad as Alice, because, oh boy, Alice was, whew. But I just don't want them taking one of my favorite characters and making me dislike them in this brand new rebooted Resident Evil movie series. You know, that would massively bum me out. Okay, I guess that's it. But yeah, definitely voice all your opinions down in the comments. I love having discussions with you guys. I keep saying it over and over just because we keep having such like nice discussions in the comments on my videos. It's a lot of fun. And I like checking my notifications being like, ooh, this person had a great idea. Ooh, I like their theory, you know? It's a lot of fun for me. And hopefully it's equally as fun for some of you guys to make those comments. But yeah, those were my thoughts. Not that I'm anybody special. I'm just a tune with a YouTube channel. But I'm baffled, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.